What's up, everybody? My name is Jeremy Jones and I am back with another video. Today I'm talking my weekly sneaker rotation, so stay tuned.
Got a lot of things changing in my life. Hoping one day I'ma get it all right. Brother is engaged, about to start a new life. Yeah, I haven't had a chill day. Really wanna vibe, appreciate the moments. I've been creating, not scrolling. Mom and dad still supporting.
Alright, man, I'm back with another video. Now, before I get too deep into this video, y'all already know what to do. Go and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you're new, consider subscribing. I made content about sneakers. Alright, so let's dive into today's video. Just like I said in the intro, man, I am back on the weekly sneaker rotation. Now, this should be week 119 to the best of my knowledge. And if I'm wrong, feel free to correct the kid down in the comment section. Now, y'all already know I started this series off at the beginning of 2023. And here we are right here, man. We are pretty much in the year of 2025. And yeah, we're going to keep the party going, man. Y'all wanted me to keep the count going forward. Y'all didn't want me to start over each and every year. So if you want to get a sneak peek of what I'm wearing throughout the week, sign up for that sold out Discord. The link is pinned at the top of the comment section and it is free to sign up. Well, of course, we continue to sneaker talk, but also we have a music section, a sports section, a lid section now, you name it. But mostly if I don't put content out in time for whenever we get those surprise drops, most likely it will be in the Discord. And yes, it is free to sign up. So pretty much, man, enough rambling. Let's just get to this weekly sneaker rotation. Now, y'all know I end things off on a Friday, then pick right back up on Saturday. So, but this one right here is going to be slightly different. Not really, because it's not that I haven't done this in the past. This one's going to be covering pretty much Saturday and Sunday, meaning the kid pretty much did the basics of just lounge around the house and finally just take a break, man. I've had so many busy days at work. It was only right that I feel like maybe I just take a little bit of time to myself and just kind of just chillax, man. So pretty much on Saturday and Sunday, the kid is none other than the Yeezy Slides, and this is the pure colorway. Arguably one of my favorites in my collection for comfortability, man. If you guys haven't probably figured this out real quick, and yes, these joints are probably super duper beat, and you should be not surprised at this point, but arguably one of my favorites as far as comfortabilities in my collection. In fact, I have several other Yeezy Slides. One I use specifically for travel. I do have like two other pairs. I think I'm going to keep one and eventually probably sell another one. But anyway, these are my old fables is what I like to call them. And the reason I probably let these hang around a little bit longer than I should is because it's one of those I paid resale before pretty much Ye did his thing, right? Okay, so pretty much these are my around the house, take the trash out, run to, you know, the 7-Eleven real quick, you name it, right? Okay, so pretty much these are what I consider like my beaters. And I know what people say, well, at least clean them. This version, right, is the dirt magnet version if you guys haven't figured it out. But anyway, this is my Saturday and Sunday shoe, was a Yeezy Slide Pure. All right, cool, man. So we're now going to move right along on to Monday. Right back at the work. You kid know I work a full-time job, and I will keep it 100. Pretty much, we call for like a lot of rain this week, right? Okay, so pretty much, you're going to see a lot of probably patent leather. There's your hint right there. But for the days that I could squeeze it in, pause, I definitely switched it up as well. But anyway, Monday, right back at the work, and I brought out none other than my Air Jordan 11 Cool Grays. Now, if I'm not mistaken, these are the ones from 2019. Arguably one of my favorites in my collection, and I did actually sell my old pair. So I'm looking at the production date on this, and yeah, actually 2021. I don't know why I said 2019, but yeah, an oldie but a goodie, but still in good condition, and it's got that high patent leather cut. What I like about this shoe the most is just the versatility that it brings to the game. Gray is that neutral color, which I've been telling you guys time and time again, where I'm not afraid to get the 11 wet, even though technically this material up here is not leather, but it actually holds up pretty well and doesn't fade as quickly. At least it doesn't for me, and I would leave it right there. But overall, still a dope shoe and arguably one of my favorites in my collection, and I like the versatility that it brings to the game. Now, the only downside I'll tell you guys time and time again is that crease on the toe box right there. If the camera's gonna do this any type of justice and focus on that, that pretty much means like, yo, it is like pretty much not noticeable, but it's also noticeable to a sneakerhead. Just something that I've noticed with the patent, with the Air Jordan 11s that have that patent leather, that's been happening for years, but I think finally it caught on when to like when somebody bought like a new pair and it just noticed after one wear. So it just kind of one of those, I feel like when you put your foot in it, it's less noticeable because you got that pressure in there. But when you don't have your foot in there, that's when it like, okay, what the heck is going on? But anyway, this was my Monday shoe, was the Air Jordan 11 Cool Gray. Cool, now we're gonna move right along on to Tuesday. The kid right back at the work. You know, I work a full-time job, and this is one of those days where it didn't rain, but we did have that little chilly cold front where, you know, you definitely need to have something on your arms to just stay warm, right? Okay, so pretty much Tuesday right back at the work. Brought out one of my favorites that I really don't wear enough, or I think we just kind of let these just kind of be in the past at some point, but I still actually like my pair. And I'm talking none other than the Yeezy 350 V2, and these are the Zebras, right? Okay, I remember I paid resale for a pair, and then I got a pair for retail, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sell that pair. So I've actually sold a pair of Zebras now. As you can see, the yellowing on this didn't age well, but I actually don't hate it either. So I feel like, you know, I chose comfort and the fact that, you know, Tuesday was kind of like a rough start for me, but you know, I bounced back like the kid always do. But this was my Tuesday shoe, was a Yeezy 350 V2. This is the zebra colorway. Now I know a lot of people aren't messing with Ye. I'm not getting all up into that, but you know, I put a lot of money and investment into my sneakers, and it is what it is. And it's not about trying to like this, that, and the third. We all know, yeah, he's definitely doing his own thing, and I'll leave it right there. But this was my Tuesday shoe, was a Yeezy 350 V2 Zebra. Cool, now we're gonna move right on back to work. You guys know I work a full-time job again. Right back to work, so Wednesday, pretty much, again, no more rain call for right now until we close out the rest of the week. But Wednesday, I wanted to bring out something that obviously I feel like I need to get more rotation. We've seen a newer version, I wanna say, that came out last year, but these are still some oldies but goodies, and arguably one of my favorites in my collection, and I'm talking none other than the Air Jordan 4, and these are the Breads right here. Now this is that suede one right here that I've just taken very good care of. Now this is the one I'm positive is from 2019 right here. If I can find the production date on this one, is, yeah, 2019, arguably one of my favorites in my collection. And I feel like you can't go wrong when it's black and red, because you automatically know. I feel like even if you're not a sneakerhead, you know this is a J right off rip. And that hint of gray on here, very, very nice touch. Now y'all know I like to do the shoestrings loosey-goosey as much as possible. And then also, I don't like to have my wings like tied down, so to speak, pause. So I usually let them fling out and let them do themselves as well, because to be honest, the wings are a nice touch, and yes, I want them there because I feel like I'm so used to them that it would look weird if it didn't have them. But at the same time, I like to let them just do their thing. I'm just a loosey-goosey guy when it comes to my sneakers, man. I've always have been. In fact, my family low-key used to make fun of me. They would be like, hey, it was a saying that my parents would say, like, I wonder if you just say, hey, you guys can keep the shoestrings if you guys can give me a discount on it or something like that. Even though that's not a thing, it was just like a running joke, right? Okay. But anyway, this was my Wednesday shoe, was the Air Jordan 4, and these are the Breads. Cool. Now we're gonna move right along on to Thursday. Again, the kid right back at the work, working a full-time job. You know how the kid do, man. Pretty much, I felt the motivation from the Bread. Now this day did call for rain, so I wanted to be safe than sorry. A shoe that I'm comfortable wearing, where if it gets wet, I don't really have to flip out or be necessarily concerned. Plus, it is an older shoe in my collection. Arguably one of my older shoes in my collection, definitely is. And I'm talking none other than the Air Jordan 11, and these are the Bread. So yeah, I told you guys there will be a lot of patent leather in this weekly sneaker rotation. Now these are the ones from 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Checking the production date on this. Yep, definitely 2012. Now I know this by memory, but sometimes doing all these videos, I just need a real refresher sometimes. You know what I'm saying? The kid obviously getting up there in age, right? Okay, but yeah, brought these out, and now you can tell mine, they're in good condition and well kept, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind having a fresh pair, but I'm not gonna go on a resale market for it. I think the ones last we got was back in 2019. Don't quote me on that, but I don't see the major difference between the 2012 pair and the 2019 pair. My pair is still just kind of, I'm just taking care of my collection, man. So I feel like I'm gonna hold out, because I feel like eventually we will see these probably come back out again at some point. I remember these were a must-have for me when I was a kid growing up in school. I remember I seen somebody rocking these guys, and at the time, I don't think I either understood the level of how important this shoe was, and I don't even think I even asked my parents for this one right here, because I think at this point I just accepted the fact that J's is just something that, not that my parents couldn't afford, they just didn't want to pay, and I feel them, because it can be like an expensive hobby / what have you, but I always still had some fresh kicks as well. My family definitely took care of me, but the J's and stuff like that, not everybody got down with the prices, and I hate to say it, with the tariffs and everything going on, we may be still in that, I still have to convert back to what my parents used to do back in the day. Anyway, man, this was my pretty much Thursday shoe, is the Air Jordan 11 Breads. Cool. Now we're gonna move right along on to Friday to close out the week. One to finish strong. Again, another week where we're just pretty much rained out. And I know some people say in the comment section, like, sheesh, man, you guys get nothing but rain over there. And we do get a lot of rain in the DMV, but that's why we have shoes that we are prepared for each and every time. So pretty much on Friday, Kid stepped in another Air Jordan 11, and these are the Gammas. Rumors is these may or may not be coming out this year in 2025. If they do, I will get a fresh pair, but this is a shoe where I feel like very, very versatile with a big majority all black and that little hint of, like, I guess you can say like turquoise blue. You know what I'm saying? What can we say this Jumpman colorway is? Like, I've worn these to the ground and I can honestly say they're still in good condition. One thing I'll say about the 11 is, while we argue about that toe crease, and I can show you again right here for the people who are the non-believers, pretty much that toe crease in that like corner there, that may be a staple, but again, something that honestly I really never noticed until I just started to somebody pointed out to me. But I feel like these are super duper durable. It's a shoe that I'm comfortable you can wear to get wet, pause, or if it snows in your area, this is another shoe that you can just, it's just versatility and everybody knows what it is. And I feel like they always look good on feet no matter how you slice it and dice it. Now, I'm not gonna say everybody's a big fan of the 11s, but I almost feel like it's also most likely feels like a requirement if you're into sneakers. You gotta have at least a pair of 11s, I feel like. Now, again, that's like a rule for me, but necessarily not something I would say across the board. But every sneakerhead that I've known, we always got a pair of 11s. But these Gammas, man, and it reminds me of those, what, the cap and gown joints that dropped not too long ago. I want to say like 3-4 years ago. But the Gammas are still the Gammas, man. So I wouldn't mind to see these come back with that high patent leather cut. But anyway, this was my Friday shoe. Was the Air Jordan 11 Gammas. All right, man. So that completes my weekly sneaker rotation for this week, man. Y'all sign off in the comment section. Let me know what you wore throughout the week as well. I'm going to do my very, very best to stay on top of the comments this section this time because, as you guys know, I had to get caught up. I was like 2 weeks behind when I thought I was only 1 week behind, but getting slowly caught up in the comment section, so I do my very best to respond to you guys as well. But anyway, man, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of this thing and stop rambling, man. Y'all be sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you know, consider subscribing. I made content about sneakers. Again, my name is Jeremy Jones, and thank you for watching, and I'm out.